Hello, welcome back to Mrs. Moriarty's art class. So I'm going to be showing you how to color match. I cut out 8 different swatches from a magazine and I glued them down. You can glue or tape them down, whatever you have. Even if you have paint swatches, you can use paint swatches. So I'm starting with, and I already kind of started it, with this violet red color. I'm going to be using only my primary colors for this exercise. That being said, if you want to use your crimson red and your magenta, your ultramarine blue and your cyan, and then your yellows, you can use all your different shades of reds and blues if you would like. So I'm going to start with cyan, and I'm going to do a layer of that. And then what I'll do is I'll take my magenta and layer that on top to get a purple color. And then once I'm there, I can see how I need to adjust in order to kind of match this as best that I can. Okay, so right now it's really pale, and if I start to build this color up, I'm actually going to lay some crimson red on top of this. First I'm going to kind of build this up a little bit more because this magenta actually might be a little too pale. I'm just going to layer one layer. Again, you want to do this slowly, and then back to my cyan. When you're layering, it's a good idea to layer in a different direction every time you layer down. If you squint at your color swatch and what you're doing with the colored pencil, and kind of see if the colors kind of blend together, that's a good thing. That means you're matching value as well, so it's not just color, but I'm trying to match the value of that color. I'm going to go back to the magenta. And now I'm going to start to burnish. You don't want to burnish real quickly because then you really can't layer on top. You always want to build your layer slowly. So real pale, soft pressure, and then you're going to build up. So you can see that I'm starting to get a little bit better of a color and of a value match there. Let me see if you can see this. Get a little closer. So I'm getting a little bit better with that matching. It looks a little bit better from where I'm seeing than on camera, but that's okay. Okay? So now I'm going to go to this blue. I'm going to actually grab my ultramarine blue to start with this and just do a pale layer before I put cyan on top. Now, this takes practice. I've been doing this a while, and I can kind of see as I put these two colors together, and I probably can see it better than you, that this one right here has a little bit more green to it. I think if I laid that cyan down, which actually has green in it because it's a little bit more of a blue-green, that might help. Again, I'm not going to burnish really quickly, just going to layer until I get up to the value that I need and the color that I want. I'm going to go back to that ultramarine blue. Now, this is where you need to know your complements. If I want to darken a color, I'm not going to use black because black just deadens the color. So I'm actually going to want to use the opposite, which is orange, which is red and yellow. So I'm actually going to, in order to build up this value, you can see by layering this red on top, that value is starting to deepen. And this red is not magenta, it still has a little bit more orange in it. So that's actually going to help deepen it. And then to bring some of that blue back out, I go back to the ultramarine blue. To kind of see that value starting to match better. So I'm going to hop on down to this green color. Now with green, since it has yellow in it, I'm going to start with yellow. Because yellow is the lightest color, so I want to be able to start with yellow and then layer on top of that. If I start with a dark color, that yellow might not layer as well. So I'm going to start with yellow. And I'm going to start with an intense green, so I'm going to put my cyan on top of that. And this is going to look a lot brighter than my color swatch. But again, I want us to kind of go light to dark, so that's why I'm starting a little bit more intense, a little bit more bright, and then I'm going to dull it. I'm going to take the ultramarine blue, and that's going to darken the value. So again, I'm matching both color and value here. If you squint at it, you can kind of see if it's matching that value. I'm going to take my yellow back on top of it. Go back to when that ultramarine. If I find it's starting to get a little too grayish or brownish, it's losing a little bit of that saturation, that's when I can take that cyan back. And this, I think, it's getting that match that I want. And we're not working with paint, we're working with color pencil, so you do see the kind of the paper underneath a little bit. That's okay. Alright, so I kind of matched that color. And then what you're going to do is just kind of go around. I'll do one more here just to see, because this is more of a neutral color. It's a brown. And it's kind of like an orangey brown. So I'm going to start with yellow to begin with and make an orange. And then to cut that orange, to dull it down, I'll add its complement, a little bit of blue on top. Go on top with red. Really, really pale. Don't want to go too quickly, too fast with the color pencil as far as burnishing it, because I want to be able to layer. If you burnish too quickly, you can't layer on top of all that waxiness. So now, in order to dull that, I'm going to, let's see, get this more centered, take a little bit of my blue, really, 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 really pale layer of it. And what that is going to do, it's going to neutralize that bright orange to make it a little bit more of the brown that's in my color swatch. So complements neutralize or dull colors. So if I had the green, that's why I layered a little bit of red on top of this green to dull it down a little bit. And I'm going to go back to my yellow. And then I'm going to start to burnish. Now this is looking a little too yellow to me. I want a little bit more orangey, so I'm going to take that red back on top. And you can see now that's matching a lot better as I go. Go back with my yellow just to brighten it a little bit. And again, I've created all of these colors just with the primary colored pencils. That is the key to this exercise, is not grabbing a green or not grabbing a color that matches it perfectly. I want you to practice the layering process of colored pencils. That's what gives artwork life, it gives it interest, it helps to create volume on forms, make things less flat. Okay? So do your best with this. I can't wait to see your results. And this is the last of the exercises before you do your Saison copy. And I will be demoing that as well. So, good luck. Have fun.